This is an update on the Hyundai Elantra N driver who got pulled over for driving with a stock exhaust. This guy got pulled over in Riverside County, California for having an exhaust that was allegedly too loud. The cop gives him a ticket and sends them to the state ref. That is the state referee. And the state referee measures his exhaust incorrectly and then fails to give him a certificate that he would need to go to the judge and get the ticket cleared. Next, he contacts the dealer who says they can't really help him. Then he contacts Hyundai Corporate and he gets sort of passed around there and nothing really happens. Now there's a lot to the story, so if you want all the details, click on the link below to get the full recap of what actually happened up to this point. Here's where we are now. He still needs a certificate of clearance from BAR, the Bureau of Automotive Repair, to take to the judge to show him that his exhaust is legal and compliant. Finally, he says that a new person at Hyundai Corporate reached out to him and he posted this on Reddit. About 1 month after I posted my last update, a new Hyundai manager reached out to me and set up a date to have my car picked up for testing at the HATCI, that's the Hyundai America Technical Center Inc. Hyundai gives him a loaner vehicle, it's a hybrid, while they've got his car, and he is still making payments on his car, but they do give him a $500 credit for his trouble. It won't cover the monthly payments paid while not having the vehicle, but at this point, I'll take it. Hyundai have confirmed a few weeks ago that there is nothing wrong with the vehicle. I assume that they will be holding onto the Elantra N and that I will be driving their loaner until the citation and the state ref is cleared. Now he confirms that he did hire an attorney and that his new court date is now February 23rd. So I feel pretty good that he will be able to resolve this with an attorney. For the next few months, I'll just be waiting for February and likely driving the loaner until then. Final update will be posted in February and I'll be sure to lay out the facts as I have come across quite a bit of misinformation regarding this situation. Props to Hyundai for finally stepping up to the plate and taking care of the situation. I think it could have been taken care of at the dealer, but Hyundai is absolutely doing the right thing. It's the right PR move. They're doing the right thing by this user, and they're going to take it to their own testing center, and I'm sure they're going to show it's completely compliant. Now, this whole situation has really generated a lot of discussion, and there's a lot of misinformation. Let's just sort of address these and clear the air. Now, a lot of these questions have to do with who can he sue. So I'm not an attorney, although I have worked in the legal industry for many, many years, and I have a little bit of familiarity with how the law and these things work. So one of the most common comments and recommendations I've seen is he should sue the state. Can he sue the state? So that's actually going to be quite difficult for an individual to sue the state over a situation like this. Yes, he can file a lawsuit against the state. However, governments typically have something called sovereign immunity. That means under many circumstances, you can't actually sue them without their consent. So there is a limited range of circumstances under which you can sue the government. These procedures are complex and complicated, and generally speaking, you're not really going to have much success suing the state over something as simple and as trivial as a traffic ticket. And for all the people that said he should go ahead and sue, remember, we're talking about a situation that is measured in the hundreds of dollars. And yes, hundreds of dollars is a lot of money, but you have to remember, suing isn't free. You need to hire an attorney, and an attorney typically is going to cost hundreds of dollars per hour. So you sort of need to weigh this balance between suing the state, which you're not gonna likely get very far on a traffic ticket, and the thousands of dollars you might spend trying to sue the state. And just because you're angry doesn't mean that you really have a viable lawsuit. So the next big thing is, can he sue the police department? Well, that really goes back to the same kind of thing that I just outlined. It's going to be very difficult to sue the police department for a traffic ticket. And again, you've got to balance the cost versus the damage that you have allegedly sustained, which is going to be measured in attorney's fees and the time that you spend going to BAR to get your car certified and all these kinds of things. We're not talking about tens of thousands of dollars here. We're talking about hundreds, maybe low thousands of dollars at best. Can he sue Hyundai for selling him an illegal car? Absolutely, he can sue Hyundai for selling him a car that doesn't comply with state regulation. However, I don't think he's going to get very far with that because Hyundai is not in the business of selling cars that are illegal to sell. That would be dumb on their part. Hyundai is a large corporation. Believe me, Hyundai is not going to sell cars that are illegal in certain states. It is not in their best interest. They're just not going to do that. So Hyundai will, without a doubt, be able to prove that their car is legal. So can he sue Hyundai to say that his car is being sold illegally? Sure he can, but the burden is going to be on him to prove it. Again, we're talking about hundreds of dollars per hour for attorney's fees. The next big question was, can he sue CARB? That's the California Air Resources Bar. That is the state ref. Can he sue these people? The state ref definitely did not use the correct test procedure when he was testing the car. You can go back to the first video and see that. Again, it's gonna be very difficult to prove that the ref didn't use the right test procedure. And in order to prove something, you can't just allege that he did it incorrectly. You need to actually show the court that their state ref did something incorrectly. And typically to do that, you're gonna have to examine the report, and you're gonna have to use something called an expert witness, which is an expert who is gonna be paid for his time to examine these records and make an opinion that the state ref did his job correctly or he didn't. Again, you've got to pay an attorney and these experts hundreds of dollars per hour to prove this. So that is a pretty high bar when, again, we're talking about the guy's total outlay of funds, probably measured in the hundreds or low thousands of dollars. I'm not saying that's not a small amount of money, but in the grand scheme of things, you've got to weigh that balance. Some have said sue the cop personally. Again, I'm going to stress I'm not an attorney. This is just my interpretation of the rules of the laws, but in order to sue a cop personally, you're only going to be able to do that in certain categories of things. Civil rights violations, police misconduct, unlawful detention, police brutality, racial profiling, sexual harassment, false arrest, all those kinds of things which sort of fall under human rights. Traffic ticket doesn't really rise to that bar, and those rules are probably not going to allow you to sue a cop personally for those kinds of things. The next question is, how come celebrities and wealthy people who drive around in their Lamborghinis and Ferraris don't get pulled over and get tickets for these kinds of things? A, there probably is a double standard, let's be honest, and B, these people are probably not driving around Riverside County at night with a loud exhaust in their Ferrari and Lamborghini. You sort of got to put the likelihood of these people who own these cars driving around at night in an urban area in Riverside County just less likely to happen. Some people have said he should just go and get the car retested. Absolutely, he should. However, in order to qualify for a retest, he needs to show that some work has been done on the car to fix the problem. And the dealer and Hyundai have said there is nothing wrong with the car, so there's nothing to modify. So he can't go back and get it just retested. He doesn't qualify for that. It's kind of a strange little rule, but I guess it's there to stop people from just going back over and over and over again and kind of wasting the whole system's time. I think that's why that rule is there. And I want to ask you a question so I can make content that you want to watch. What kind of stories do you want to see? I did a video on catalytic converter theft that didn't really do that well. I did a video on a runaway car that didn't do that well either. I'm obviously going to continue with the car reviews. I really love doing those, but tell me, what kind of news stories, what kind of stories do you want me to cover? There'll be another part of the series right here. Go ahead and click that. My name is Eric. Thanks so much for watching, and happy holidays.